What's good, everybody? So there's a lot of producers out there that are making drum kits, sample packs, and a lot of those producers are popular and you may want to collab with them. And the easiest way that I've found to collab with those people is to use their own kits. Tag them on social media, and if they like what you've done with their kits, then that's a potential opportunity for you in the future. So if you hear producers out there that you want to work with, that's an easy, simple way to get your foot in the door. Now today I want to talk about the digital gold drum kit from the homie Nokturn. Now there's a uniqueness about his drums and his sound. The same with like Decap's drums. Like when you hear those, you recognize them immediately. The same goes for Nocturn's. When you hear his drums, there's a uniqueness to his sound. There's a warmth that I just love about his drums. So today I want to showcase a track that I made based around his drums and his sound. Then I took a sample from the Kevin Keys plugin that I showcased a few weeks ago and just built a boy. I mean, at least I like the track, and I hope y'all like it too. I'm gonna break it down right now. All right, you know what it is. Let's go. All right, so let's break this thing down. First thing I got is this sample from the Kevin Keys plugin. Now there's a couple different options on this plugin. You can choose slice, which slices up the sample that's chosen right here. You can chop it up that way. But I chose this pitch function and pitched the sample down, so now it's like. So that's the sample I used. There's a filter that I applied to it. Originally it sounds like. So it's kind of dirty. I wanted to clean it up a little bit. Added that filter. Much softer, much warmer. Here's the drums that I chose from the digital gold drum kit. There's some effects on some of these snares, and you'll see why later on in the video. I have this little animation that is in the same key as the sample. This vocal chop is from the Loudmouth vocal pack from the Dope Boys. That crash is like a standard drum sound in Maschine, and it's like my signature thing, man. I love this. You can barely hear that. It's like a sleigh bell with a bunch of effects on it and a perk. So most of those sounds are from a digital gold kit. So the sample plays, and then it goes into the drums, and I'll sample those for you right now. So you can hear some of the effects on the drums, and what I like to do is I want to add some swing without doing it on the machine, because I'm OCD. I gotta have everything's gotta be linear, and then I gotta move everything that I want to swing at the same time. So what I did was I quantized everything, and then what I did was I took everything that I wanted to add swing on, and I changed the grid to 1/128 instead of like 1 1/8 bar or 1/8 of a bar, 1 1/28, and I shifted everything over and kept the kicks and the snare on time, and then shifted everything to give it that swing. Originally it sounded like. And then with that shifting all the hi-hats, this is what it ended up sounding like. So I added swing there, but I did it in a more structured way. That way I can control every aspect of it, because most of the time people will play the drums and manually add that swing into it, which gives it that feel, but my fingers are retarded, man. I can't keep on time. So I gotta have everything lined up the way that I like it, and then shift everything at the same time. That's just something that I do to add swing, rather than using the master swing control on Maschine. I just do it all manually. So that, along with the sample, sounds like. hear that bass come in at the end. This bass is from Ill Minds All Subs Everything sample pack. Basically has a collection of just deep bass subs at different hertz to reach different registers, different ranges. So I know you can't hear it very well, but it sounds like very warm sounding sub bass. So what I did leading into the next scene is I cut the sample completely and added a Rhodes style plugin. It's the Scarby Mark 1. And played chords along that same key along with the drum pattern. So here's what it sounds like by itself. So I wanted to switch everything up and completely change the sound, but when it all comes back together, it all fits. So here's what it sounds like with the drums. Oh yeah, you know I had to have Exhale in there. Took a couple of vocal samples from Exhale. Woo, that sample. So that repeats a couple of times in the verse, and then I added this little element from FM8. It's a plugin by Native Instruments. It's kind of a standard plugin with Komplete. And played this little tune, this little ditty. It's a soft synth that I just wanted to accent the keys. So here's what it sounds like by itself. So we'll play it with everything else. And as you can see here, I added that swing again. Moved everything forward. I quantized everything, then moved everything forward to give it a little bounce. Here's what it sounds like all together. So moving on, right before the hook chorus, I did a little breakdown and I added a piano, Alicia's keys, playing the same chords as I did with the Rhodes or the Scarby, and then added a little lead piano to go on top of that. So I'm going to play just the instruments together. So on top of that, I added another synth that's a little bit more bright to play something similar to the softer synth. So together those sound like. And that's it's from Kontrol. I think the preset is called Spring Love. And then I added Replica XT for a little delay. Here's everything together. So that, along with the drums and the vocal samples from Exhale. So all of that leads back into the hook. I brought back the Kevin Keys sample in the hook and then changed the chords to match the hook from the Scarby and the piano. So all three of those together, I'm gonna play those together, and that sounds like. So the piano may sound a little bit loud, but I have it sidechain compressed with the kick so that as soon as the kick hits, it compresses the audio output of the piano to kind of dampen it, gives it a little bit of a swell sound. So that together, let me play that so you kind of understand what I'm talking about. So it may seem loud playing by itself, but with that sidechain compression, it kind of pulls everything together. So here's what the hook sounds like. Actually, I'm gonna play the breakdown leading into the hook. So here it goes. So there's a lot going on in the hook. Let me solo those so you can hear them. Then for the bass, I kind of had to play with that a little bit too to follow the sample. So I had to switch up from the verses into the hook. And so what I did with the bass, you'll be able to hear with headphones on, but what I did with the bass is as I followed the vocal sample, so when the vocal sample sings, I did that with the bass too to kind of accent that. So just kind of adds a little bit of a flavor to it. I mean, now talking about it, breaking it down, it seems kind of simple like what I did, but there's a lot of effects. A lot goes into the mixing to make everything blend. I didn't want to have anything stand out too much. Just kind of wanted a nice feel sound together with everything. So that's pretty much it. You know, I mean, saying these drums kind of brought this out of me. You know, I was at Starbucks. I made this joint at Starbucks again, bro. Like, and I came home and I kind of finished it, but something about being out in public, I guess, brings out a different vibe. So I try to explain a little bit of my process when I'm putting all this stuff together as far as effects and compression and, you know, blending sounds. And I kind of wanted to switch things up too with the sample and then leading to just instrumentation. I've been using a lot of samples recently and haven't been playing using these plugins too much. So I wanted to use a sample because I found it and it was warm and it was nice. I really liked it. So I kind of wanted to build around that and then bring it back in the hook. So this is pretty much the track. You know, that digital gold drum kit is fire. So you can get it at kitsohard.com. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. But Nokturn makes amazing stuff. And then also next week I'll be talking about Fouché, who's also with Kit So Hard. He put out a drum kit called Atomic Drums 2. Boy, that's kind of fire too. So next week I'm gonna dig into that. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna work on it this week. I'm off all week and you know, we'll see what happens. So this is the track. I'm gonna play it back for y'all and enjoy. All right, peace.